This year, West Salem Middle School has made some changes on how teachers, students, and parents can communicate. This video will give you some outlining information on what those changes are. One option for checking student progress is Skyward. This is a great place to check on grades or missing assignments. New in the coming week will be what's called the Homework Hotline. Homework Hotline will be a place where parents and students can go and look up what the homework is that teachers have listed. Additionally, teachers and students are now using something called Google Classroom instead of Edmodo. Google Classroom is a great way for teachers to distribute information and assignments to students, and in response, students can turn in work through Google Classroom. We'll take a look at Homework Hotline and Google Classroom a little more closely. Through the course of the next week, we hope to have Homework Hotline available on our district website. Parents and students can find this information by going to the school district website, then choosing Our Schools, and from Our Schools Middle School, and then down to Homework Hotline. When selecting Homework Hotline, you will need to select the grade for the student at the top, and then when the correct grade is selected, you can scroll through the specific teacher or the specific day to find out what has been assigned for that particular day. The third option we mentioned was Google Classroom. Over the course of the next week, you may receive an email invitation that invites you to receive summaries of what's happening in Google Classroom. 7th grade parents may have already received these emails from John Jones. Here's an example of what you may see and how you can set this up. So I've done a demo for myself here, and this is what the email would look like. So it would tell me the teacher's name has invited me as a guardian in Google Classroom. And it says here you'll get a weekly post of the student's progress. Now, if you should receive this and it's not your student, please say, "I'm not the guardian," and then contact your student's homeroom teacher if there was an error. I would like to know more about what's happening in the Google Classroom aspect, so I'm going to choose Accept. Once I do that, another window is going to open up and it says you've been invited to get Google summaries, you're signed in as, and it tells me my email, and I'm going to accept again. From here I have a couple of options, frequency and time zone. So for the frequency, I would determine how often I want to receive these emails. My choices are weekly, which gets sent out on Friday afternoons, or daily, which gets sent out sometime in the late afternoon or early evening. Or I can receive no summaries at all. Please keep in mind that this is one summary for your student, meaning if they are in 5 different classes, you're still going to get only one email, not 5 emails. Additionally, since these are emailed out in the afternoon, as it says again here in repeats, if it's not getting to you in a time that's convenient for you, let's say that it happens to be showing up at 6 o'clock at night. Well, we have absolutely no control over that at West Salem Middle School. That's entirely decided by the folks at Google Classroom. So what you can do, what we've learned, is that you can fudge a little bit with the time zone. So if it's getting to you a little bit too late, you could choose a different time zone to get that to you in a more timely manner. One of the great things about receiving these Google Classroom email summaries is that it helps you know what's going on in the classroom. On the screen, you'll see a sample of a Guardian email summary that Google Classroom put out as a guide for parents. Now, keep in mind, you're not actually joining Google Classroom. If you want to know very specifically what's going on in Google Classroom, then that would be something where you would speak to your student and ask them to log in and then look at their particular device. The parent just receives an email summary and does not actually create an account for this. So in this example of the weekly summary, in this case for the particular student, you can see that, as I mentioned, it is for a number of classes. So you can see that this particular student is in U.S. History and American Lit and Marine Biology, and all of the activity for the week is summarized in one spot. So if you were to receive this, say for example, daily, you would get something similar for each class that had something posted for that particular day. It serves as a great conversation starter so that you know the topics that they are working on, or maybe what kind of books they're reading, or those kinds of things. Once you start receiving your email summaries, and if you want to make some changes, at the bottom of the summary, you can see a settings and unsubscribe. So let's say, for example, that you had signed up for a daily email and you wanted to change that to weekly. You could click on this settings and it will again take you to the screen for the frequency and the time zone. If you decided that you did not want to receive the emails anymore at all, then you could simply hit unsubscribe in this particular location. As we work through these changes at West Salem Middle School, you may have some questions. If you have a question about the Google Classroom invite, maybe you didn't receive an invite, please contact your student's homeroom teacher. They are the ones who, from this point out, will be sending out the invite through Google Classroom. If you have a specific question on homework or grades in general, then you should talk to the classroom teacher. They would know that information. And finally, if you have any general questions about Google Classroom and how it works, don't hesitate to contact me, Kathy Hilby. I'm including my contact information on the screen so that you can email me at your convenience. We hope that through the combination of Skyward, Homework Hotline, and Google Classroom, that you will feel comfortable in communicating with your student regarding his or her progress.